This is a review worth months of anticipation and dread. But my name is 101R Smith, and today is a review of the Master Grade Tallgeese 3 from Gundam Wing Endless Waltz.
If people allow Marimeya to do as she wishes, they'll end up giving birth to a second Milliardo Peacecraft.
Tallgeese 3 is the second successor to the Tallgeese line, being developed at the same time as the Tallgeese 2. However, only Tallgeese 2 was finished at the time, so Trey's decided to take that to space with him. Tallgeese 3, for the most part, follows the same basic outline of the original Tallgeese. A big mobile suit made for high mobility. However, it does take aspects from both Gundam Epion and Wing Gundam Zero, with its new shield including the whiplash that was same use as Epion, as well as its new cannon somewhat inspired by Wing Zero's Twin Buster cannon. Overall, you can say that this is the most versatile out of the three Tallgeeses, and probably the most beloved after the original from Gundam Wing, the TV show. Unfortunately, this is a P-Bandai kit because it's only a variant, so it's going to cost you about double the amount of a regular Master Grade and be harder to find. However, I am a big fan of Gundam Wing and I want to complete my collection. I have all of the Gundam Wing TV/Endless Waltz kits minus the original Tallgeese, and I want the Endless Waltz kits as well. So, it was pretty much a no-brainer to pick up the Tallgeese. Plus, I had some spare change and I wondered, it's in the store, it might not be there forever, why not? This review is months in the making. This was originally supposed to be up in May, but I had a problem in the build which caused me to shelve this for months. I've tried to fix it, and unfortunately I can't, but I will show you what's going on, and maybe you guys can help me out find a final solution for this. With that in mind, let's open up the box and see what we have here. With this being a P-Bandai exclusive, you're going to get a whole mess of things. Now, for the most part, this is Master Grade Tallgeese EW. A lot of the parts are pretty much the same, from the legs, the waist, the body, the arms. Pretty much, it's the bulk of that kit, but a lot of the new parts are within the head, the shield, and a little bit of the wings. But otherwise, this is Tallgeese 1 and Tallgeese 3 colors. With that in mind, I will also say that panel lining is necessary. You seeing this on the screen? Yeah, there's some blue in there, but 80% of this kit is just pure white. So please, 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 break out the real touch, break out that panel line accent color. You're gonna need it here. Now, the also thing that I will find interesting is that the whiplash on the shield is pretty much ripped from Gundam Epion, which should be fine. It's even ironic that a lot of the hard plastic polycap pieces in the shield marked the 2011. So, pretty much they took Epion, they took that kit, they put the whiplash there, and just called it Tallgeese 3. And also you'll see that crown there, which is also brand new to the head. One also bonus is that because this is P-Bandai, this comes with a water slide decal. So if you don't like the stickers, or you don't like the application, there you go. Water slides. And now, finally completed, and we have the glory that is Tallgeese 3. Like I said before, this thing needs a lot of panel lining, but it's so worth it because it brings out a lot of the outer detail that just wouldn't pop as well if you just left it the plain white. And surprisingly, when you don't have all of its equipment on, it can stand pretty decently. You know, the backpack looks great. You get more outer detail with it in the back. You get the shoulders, you get the back skirt. Everything looks great on this thing. So, with that in mind, let's look at some of its articulation, shall we? Okay, so for balancing issues, I took off all of its equipment so we can just get to the bare bones of this. The head can look up, side to side, and 360 degrees. One interesting tidbit is that this little chin thing near the bottom of the head actually moves as you move the head with it. So that's pretty cool and something I haven't seen before. The shoulder joint is actually pretty interesting as you have to move it up and down in order to get it out. But it moves pretty well, and you can get the arm about that high. The arm is permanently at a somewhat bent angle, but you can still get a double bend. The shoulder bit in itself is its own piece, and it can move up and down. You get a decent bend on left to right and side to side on the waist. It's got some small front skirts, but they can still be moved. Side skirts, however, move differently than your typical kit because the side skirts are connected to the legs. So it moves with the legs, but you can't move them individually. Bat skirt is stationary, but boosters. And with the legs, you're going to get a nice forward and a beautiful double knee joint. And as you bend, you get to see the beautiful detail of the inner frame of the Tallgeese. The toe is on its own joint and can be moved on its own, and goes side to side on its own. So overall, I would say this is a very good articulated kit in Tallgeese. One last note that I admit I forget in a lot of my Master Grade reviews is if you open up the cockpit and you look close enough, you can see a figure of Sex Marquise. So overall, I'll say this is a good kit. Now, we're gonna get to Tallgeese's accessories. And they're pretty alright. First, you get the famous Tallgeese boosters, which can open up as you pull the top to open up and get to see 2 additional boosters, as well as some great mechanical detail that you just don't get to see up close. Be careful though, they can get stuck sometimes. However, weight issue. So, when you're using this kit, action base is mandatory. The shield, which in itself is a nice reminiscent of Apion, and you'll get to see why. And you also get 2 beam saber hilts inside of the shield that you can pull off and put some beam saber effects. Now you're going to get the tail whip, which is pretty much taken directly from Master Grade Gundam Epion and works the same way functionally. You're going to pull the sharp edge of the shield off, and you get up to 10 lengths to use. You can use as many as you want, and they still all work the same way. And you can use it as a piercing attack, as a standby, as a tail. But it looks pretty great. And now we reach where the bump hits the road, and it's the Mega Cannon. However, it's not on Tallgeese because the piece broke off. And this is after months of trying to fix this thing. I don't know what happened. I just put it on there. I tried to move Tallgeese's arm up to pose. The ball joint just broke off. So, no Mega Cannon. Very disappointing. With the assessment of Master Grade Tallgeese 3, I will try my best to be objective. But I got a little rant here, but hold on. Overall, I will say that this kit is good. You get the standard Tallgeese, which was a good kit in itself, and Tallgeese 3 Get-Up. Get great posability and a lot of detail that you don't get to see in Master Grades. I was really happy when I built this thing because it was so different than a traditional Gundam. I love Gundams, but sometimes you gotta mix things up. Sometimes you need a grunt. Sometimes you need an ace suit that isn't a Gundam. So I love the build of this thing. It was very different from what I've done. Now, this is where I start getting really frustrated because the whole Mega Cannon not being able to go on Tallgeese. And this brings up a big design problem, because what you saw previously was me trying to fix it after months. That was a polycap. What the connection was on the regular kit is hard plastic on hard plastic. That was a big design flaw by Bandai. Secondly, this brings up another issue in that if I break off a kit, especially a P-Bandai kit, I am fucked. Because right now, as of 2017, late 2017, there is no way for me to order a replacement part. Unless I want to go shell out another $100 for a Tallgeese 3, or if by some chance Dragon Momoko's kit uses the same exact parts, I have to order that. But that's still another, what, $35, $40 I have to spend on one piece. So that's a problem with Bandai with their communication with their North American audience. Let me calm down. But I will still say, despite a design flaw and problems being a North American customer, I will say, still, get this kit. Get this kit because this is a Master Grade Tallgeese 3. It kicks the 1/100 from 98's ass every day of the week. It's still a great kit. You still get a lot of functionality. But I say get this with caution because of the ballpoints in the hyperlink. Please shave down the ballpoints or try to use some way of fixing it. And also I will ask my audience, please, if you can help me out with fixing this, I will be greatly appreciated. But this is my own personal anger. This is not towards the kid. Well, it is towards the kid, but it's a design flaw. I don't hate the kid, but this is 101 R. Smith, and I will see you later.